Hey, welcome everyone. First and foremost, Happy New Year. I'm so glad to be back with our team doing these live Q&As for everyone, helping educate all those that want to learn more about real estate. I'm Donica Patton, the host of Where Do You Go Now? And my team and I have created this live Q&A that we're going to start doing after this new year and get back in the swing of things. So welcome everyone. Happy New Year. It's going to be a great 2021. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Izumi. Izumi has been with our team for I've got some feedback there. Izumi, I don't know if you hear it, but
I can hear it. I'm trying to do the share, but I can't figure that out.
okay. So anyway, without further ado, I'd like you to introduce you to Izumi. Very honored to be working with her for over a year now on our team, and I'm learning so much about everything to do with green homes, green mortgages, which we're going to learn about today. So without further ado, Izumi, take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Danica. I am so excited to be back again. And I'm so excited to have William on our call today. So let me introduce William. William Brown is a national renovation sales manager at Finance of America Mortgage, LLC. He brings a depth of knowledge and insights gained over time with over more than 20 years of experience in construction trades and 15 years in the mortgage and housing industries. During the past 10 years, he has built and managed renovation and construction ops for two national lenders which served retail, wholesale, NDC, and delegated origination channels. Close to 8,000 renovation and construction loans have gone through his operation centers. Each received project management support to assist the borrower, mortgage advisor, realtor, and contractor prior to closing, and high-touch draw administration services post-closing. In the interest of improving the product throughout its lifespan, William has also written product guidelines, trainings, and marketing materials for all participants in the renovation loan process. So, what we are interested in learning from you, William, today is the renovation loans and construction loans and how it translates to green homes, which is my specialty. So, if you can just kind of briefly tell us about what renovation loans are, in case some of the audience do not know about it.
Okay, so thank you. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I look forward to helping as many people as possible get the home of their dreams that's also energy efficient, right? So renovation loans they're all first mortgages, but they're unique in that they finance, if you're purchasing a home, it finances the purchase price, which is called the acquisition, plus whatever improvements you want to make. And so if we're talking about green homes, then we're talking about looking at the energy consumption of a particular house. And
Mhm.
so, which I think people often underestimate. And I'm in the Midwest. And so your utility bill can have a really wild swing. Like
Right.
'cause in California in the summertime, your demand for air conditioning can be off the chart, right? So I think that's a really important part of homeownership that people overlook, um, for the environment as well as their economy. So renovation loans they're offered by HUD through FHA, the FHA 203K, and by Fannie Mae, who has a product called Homestyle. They've been
Mhm.
around for since 1968.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
HUD has an energy mortgage that is connected to a 203K. Fannie Mae has an energy mortgage connected to their Homestyle. We
Hmm.
actually have a variant of that which just finances what do you call it? Appliances.
Right.
Okay, appliances or new windows, new doors. So really, they let customers take advantage of improvements in technology as part of the acquisition or retrofitting an existing home. You can do them as a purchase or a refi, but they're all fully amortized mortgages. So that's
Mhm.
different than a home equity line or a line of credit. This is securitized by your house.
Right, right. So, um, what can homeowners or home buyers can expect to do with these home loans, like you were saying, the energy efficiency and some appliances you mentioned.
Mhm.
How do they exactly look like?
Okay, so I'm going to buy a house, and Izumi's my agent, and she's helped me find my dream house, but it's a little old. Okay, so we'll start
Right.
with the old one. So we can do everything to the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put in gas-filled triple pane coated windows, very expensive items, right?
Right.
But I live in the desert and it gets really hot and the sun's
Right.
really bright. So I want to protect my investment by managing the UV light that comes through the house as well as being able to control the temperature.
Right.
So I can basically do anything that's supported by the appraisal. So I'm going to take my old house and I'm going to make it as green as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that means I may add layers of insulation. I may replace existing insulation. I will make sure that all my pipes are insulated. We lose a lot of energy with hot water pipes running through houses that are uninsulated
Mm-hmm.
because the ambient temperature takes the heat off the pipes.
Right.
We might have an older HVAC system
Mm-hmm.
that is not very efficient. I may not have any solar. I could add solar. If I'm in a place where I have consistent breeze, I might add a small wind turbine. Like there's just so many options now that can help people manage their own energy needs
Mm-hmm.
that people aren't aware. You can finance a lot of that into your home purchase
Mm-hmm.
or into your remodel.
Mm-hmm. So so the buyer, when the buyer is actually in the process of writing offers
Mhm.
and getting the loan approved, you come in that process, and how do you determine how much more to add to the purchase price?
So what we're going to need, so first the borrower's going to have a budget. They're going to have as
Right.
much money as they can borrow.
Mm-hmm.
Now the loans that we offer they all have lending limits. There's no jumbo renovation loans. So
Okay.
whatever your conforming limit is, high balance is okay. That's going to be
Right.
the most we can lend, right?
Right.
So we start with the math of what's your purchase price?
Right.
How much can you afford to borrow? And then
Right.
ideally the borrower is talking to someone like Izumi or their other agent to figure out, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Do you think it will add value to the house? Right? So we're getting a group conversation
Right.
in your market, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to get an estimate from the borrower, and we're going to put that together with there's finance. They call them fees because you have to call it a fee because of regulations. There's services that are financed into the loan.
Right.
So we're financing the services for an inspection, not a
Mm-hmm.
property inspection, but a construction inspection. If I pay a contractor to replace the floors in my house,
Right.
I don't want to write him a check until the floors are in and inspected to make sure they're in right. So
Right.
we finance the cost of that. We finance title updates. We finance the cost of paying for the inspections. So those
Mm-hmm.
are in the loan as fees, but they actually are real work. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
just a junk fee. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to calculate your loan amount based on purchase price or
Mm-hmm.
payoff. It's a refi, plus
Mm-hmm.
what you estimate the cost of repairs is going to be. So at the
Right.
beginning, it's all estimation.
Right.
And then that's what we're going to approve. We're going to underwrite the estimation,
Right.
give you a conditional commitment like a regular mortgage.
Right.
And then you're going to produce a bid by who's going to actually do the work. Most of the loans
Mm-hmm.
require one general contractor who manages all the subs.
Right.
And so you're going to have that person and they're going to produce a bid. We do need the bid in material and labor. And that's so that you can compare contractors because the average person can't look at two people's bids and know if it's the same, if there's
Right.
a line item breakdown. So there's a breakdown there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we order an as completed value appraisal. So that's different. Most purchases are happening with an as is appraisal, which is ordered
Right.
as soon as the purchase agreement is written.
Right.
But in my world, for a purchase, we're going to get an as completed appraisal, but I can't order that until I can tell the appraiser what are they going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to compare it to houses that are like my house when it's done, as opposed to how it sits today. So
Right.
that's a big difference, and that's why mostly they work, because we're looking at the future value based on your proposed renovations. Okay,
Right.
so,
Right.
the home style I like a lot. It's Fannie Mae's product, and I like it because it's simple. HUD
Mm-hmm.
has some more HUD guidelines that you have to follow, which aren't
I see.
onerous,
I see.
but there's more guidelines. Fannie Mae said if the value is supported by the appraisal and it's connected to the property, you can do it. So that means
Oh, interesting.
it's so much simpler,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I like that, and I think that so it mirrors the regular mortgage process the way we do it here at Finance of America. We're doing all these things at the same time, so we're not doing this and waiting till this is done to do that. Once we get your conditional approval, we're working on clearing your credit, income, asset conditions. We're talking to you, helping you get your bid together, find your contractor. When you have your contractor, we're vetting your contractor, doing our diligence to make sure that they're sound and reputable. All that's happening at the same time.
Right.
And
So
then
can a buyer come to you for conditional approval before they actually find a property?
I think that's a better thing to do. They definitely can.
Yeah.
And what I like doing with my buyers is explaining how they can leverage using a renovation loan to buy more house
Mm-hmm.
and to shop better, because
Right.
houses that you might like, but if you're unaware of a renovation loan option, if you walk into the house and you see that it's old and it's dated and maybe it smells funny and the windows are single pane and you want to change these things, all you have in your brain is cash register noises, right?
Yeah.
You have no idea how much it costs.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
you don't know how much you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
So as the pre-approval, we work backwards from the most you can borrow to how
Right.
you divide that up. Say you're
I see.
qualified for 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could buy a house for 500,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could actually buy it for 525,000 if you had a 5% down payment, right?
Right.
But what if you bought it for 375 and you put 125 into it?
Right.
Still 500,000, but now
Yeah.
your house may appraise at 550 or 650,
Yeah.
somewhere in there, right?
Right.
So, and it helps them shop better because they
Right.
know where the limit is, and then they can decide how to slice the pie between purchase
Mm-hmm.
and renovations.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
it gives
see.
them more options.
Right. Right. So it really like me myself as a realtor really should be working with you and the buyers all at the same time so that
I
we
like
can,
that.
yeah, we can coordinate better. So
Right.
now, so so this was a purchasing scenario, and you also tell us about the renovation scenario. So if you have a home, like if I have a home, I think
Mhm.
I talked to you
Yeah,
about
you
my
did.
home. Um, so my home is only about 15 years old, but we found out that we have a lot of missing insulations in my in the wall. And and our windows are to double pane, but they're not the best. I can feel the difference in temperatures when I
Mhm.
actually stand next to the windows. So if somebody like myself want to make my existing home more efficient, energy efficient, I can utilize this loan, correct?
That's correct. It's going to be a refinance transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to pay off your existing note,
Right.
and your new loan will include the amount you owed
Mm-hmm.
plus the amount you borrowed for the renovations.
Right.
So you come out of it with one mortgage again, one
Right.
fixed rate mortgage.
Right.
But you when it closes, we set up an escrow for your renovation funds, and then
I
as your
see.
builder builds, we pay him. So you have money available to get your windows, to pay the installer, pay
Mm-hmm.
the inspectors.
Mm-hmm.
City permits are all included. Everything can
Mm-hmm.
be included in that.
So the fund stays in the escrow, and you approve the release of those funds as it goes, as the construction gets completed.
That's correct. So for some people might have a lot of equity and they would choose to do a HELOC, a home equity line of credit.
Right. Right.
You're on your own when you do that.
Yeah.
You are shopping and vetting your contractor. You're managing him, paying him.
Mm-hmm.
You're managing all that your own, right?
Right. Right.
So the renovation loan may be more complicated to get through,
Right.
but you have a lender who's basically in your corner. So you have an advocate, right? We're going to
Mm-hmm.
review your contractor to make
Mm-hmm.
sure he's sound.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to review your bid to make sure it's complete and it's not a low ball bid, because you don't want somebody's hungry for work and he quotes you $49,000 on a $69,000 job. Once he starts, he's just going to be knocking on your door for more
Right.
money. He
Right.
didn't charge you enough to begin with.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we try and prevent. Those are the three biggest things that can happen. That
Mm-hmm.
I mean, besides humanity. Okay, I'm not going to say they're easy. You have human beings involved
Right.
with human beings,
Yeah.
and all kind of stuff can happen
Right.
during a 3 or 6 month build, right?
Right.
But I think most of the guys that are working and the women that are working, they're the good people left standing after the debacle of the mortgage collapse.
Right.
I think there's a lot of family businesses. There's a lot of independent contractors. A lot of people that want to do the work, that are
Mm-hmm.
qualified and
Mm-hmm.
understand what they're doing.
Right.
So but there aren't enough of them. So it is difficult to find contractors because um, that's a different conversation. But anyway, it's difficult
Yeah.
to find conversations.
No, but do you actually do you have to use certain contractors like that you approve, or do you have some systems, or as consumer or homeowners, do we have to find the contractors ourselves and then turn over their bill to you? How does that
Yeah,
work?
so you guys are going to find the contractor.
I see.
Um, and I don't know any lenders that allow the owner to do their own work. It's called
Right,
self-help. And the
right,
reason we don't, it's not that we're mean and nasty and we don't want to. It's that we don't have any leverage over a homeowner who's building on his house. You get into a situation where
right.
the contractor's home is never finished because
Mm-hmm.
it's not his day job. He's always building on somebody else's house.
Right.
So even if someone's talented and can do the work, it, it's not their day job. But we can use family members, we can use friends. All we're going to do is look at them to make sure they're licensed and that they are competent to do the work. And I think we're all frozen. Oh no. Just wait here a minute. I don't even know if you can hear me anymore. See if you come back.
I can hear you just fine, William. I think Izumi may have froze.
Okay. Well,
She's in the cold.
she's in the cold. All right. Well, while there
Okay,
she
you're
are you
here.
back? Are you
There
here?
you
Yeah,
go.
Okay.
you're back.
Okay. Was I frozen too?
You were frozen on my end. I think I was frozen on your end.
Right.
We're good now.
Okay. All right. I don't remember. I think I said we like you can't do self-help, but you can use if you have relatives. We
Mhm.
don't. If you have a relative, we're going to have you get two bids because I know
Yep,
he's going to give you a discount or she's going to give you a discount. But I want to
right.
make sure that we fund your escrow enough so that if they get hurt or they can't finish it, we could pay someone else to
I
finish.
see. So it doesn't have to be like you don't have to be using certain kind of contractors that may be approved by the lenders or anything. So
No.
okay. So
Yeah, we
that's
don't
good.
approve contractors because of legal liability. If I
Right,
approve them, that has legal implications. I,
right.
I can approve them in the sense that I'm checking their public records for credit history and
Mm-hmm,
vendor, how they pay their vendors.
mm-hmm.
And if they have a history, if they're felons or whatever, I can do that.
Right.
I can't approve the quality of the work that he's promising to do
Yeah,
and seen it.
yeah.
That's where we come in. And so most lenders don't have approved lists. Some people do. I think if you're trying to manage a renovation and you can't find a builder,
Mm-hmm.
that's the first problem you need to solve.
Right,
If I were to solve it for you, I don't
right,
think I don't think you really own that because you got your builder from me.
right, right. Yeah, I see. So I think my biggest question is how competitive are these loans, like the home style or green choice EM? I mean, especially now when the rate is so low, anybody, I mean, anybody with decent credit can get a pretty decent rate,
Right,
right?
right.
So is it, or how attractive is it for any homeowners or home buyers to seek this particular kind of mortgage?
So the rate is going to be higher. It's
Hmm.
usually a half a point to a point higher.
Okay.
And that's really a function of the market because when we securitize the loans, there's not really any collateral. So the rate's going to be higher.
Hmm.
I think most of the loans that I've locked since September have been in the mid to low threes. So
Hmm.
there may be a half a point if you could get 2.79 and you
Hmm.
do your renovation loan at 3 1/8 or 3 1/4, you're about a half a point off, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Which is still a pretty decent rate.
Yeah.
But the comparison isn't so much about the rate, it's about your house and what other alternatives you have. So if
Hmm.
your choice is, if you have enough equity and you can do a HELOC and you get your HELOC, which is based on prime plus or minus,
Right.
and it actually is at the discretion of the bank. So that's
Right.
kind of the downfall of HELOCs, is they
Right.
really are discretion. The bank can decide to freeze your line
Yeah.
and then you're
Yeah. It
stuck.
happened.
It happens, right? So
Yeah.
that's the only downside to HELOCs. They're
Right.
simpler, they're usually cheaper, they're faster to get the money.
Right.
You're looking at your options, right? I tell people, here's your choices. You can put it on your credit card. Ouch. You could liquidate your savings or your retirement. Ouch. You could borrow from
Ouch.
family or friends. That's like a
Yeah.
train wreck, right?
Yeah.
Or you could pay the half a point or 3/4 or even a point more and first do the house and then figure out the rate.
Right.
So a lot of people will, if they take a higher rate, they will do the house and then they'll refi to
Right.
the other rate when they're done, if that rate's still
Right. Oh yes, that's a good point that you can actually after you get it all done, you can refinance again.
correct.
Right.
So the goal is to get your home the way you want it, right? You're
Right.
trying to create your dream home. So
Right.
if we keep that as the focus, then the rest of the things, they're important. Like your
Right.
rate's really important. I'm not going to say it's not
Yeah.
because it impacts your payment. But
Yeah.
if you can make the payment en route to getting your dream home or getting your home energy more energy efficient, more
Mhm.
accommodating for your lifestyle,
Right.
whatever, then you do that first,
Right.
and then from that place, then you attack the rate problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So can you, I know you mentioned a little bit what type of things that we can do, like window replacement, insulation, HVAC. Any, can you kind of run down some of the most common items that people can do with this loan?
Hmm. So we do everything from additions. Well, you can do accessory dwelling units.
Oh, really?
If it's an FHA, it has to be connected, but if it's a
Mm-hmm.
Fannie Mae loan, it
Mm-hmm.
can be freestanding.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be an approach to attack the energy conservation while you get some income.
Right.
But you can do additions. We do stairs. We replace stairs. You can put a well, septic in. You can do remediations if there's like oil spills, asbestos, lead-based paint. You can do all that.
Wow.
Any kind of gut rehab. HUD's kind of crazy. They'll let you tear it down to the foundation and rebuild it, and then they say that it's a renovation because you're renovating the foundation. Fannie Mae doesn't like that.
Yeah.
They do not do tear downs.
Right.
It's just to the studs. So, but you can do a gut rehab. You can rearrange the interior walls. You can make it handicapped accessible.
Oh, wow.
You can change the lighting. You can change the electrical. We
Mm-hmm.
said solar, geothermal. You can put a geothermal system in. Uh,
Wow.
Pretty much like honestly, as long as you get the value for the improvement in the appraised value,
Right.
usually you can do it. HUD
Right.
says no luxury items, but a luxury item for HUD is not granite countertops and stainless steel
Mm-hmm.
appliances. That's normal in the neighborhood. A
Right.
luxury item for HUD is a bowling alley in your basement, or a swimming pool, or a tennis court,
Yeah.
or an outdoor kitchen. you know, if you got to
Right.
have jets in your bathtub, put it in the house, and you're fine. But if you put it on your deck, then it's a jacuzzi, and that's a luxury item. So
Yeah.
it's really a
Right.
matter of interpretation. But
I
that's
see.
what HUD says when they say luxury items, and Fannie Mae has no restriction, just the appraised
Oh,
value.
really?
Just
Okay.
the appraised value. It all hinges on the
Okay.
appraisal.
Okay. And one last question is, I think you did mention when I first talked to you about paying off the PACE
Hmm.
loan or existing loan. You
Right.
can use that with the renovation loan, or is that a different?
No, we can pay off the PACE loan with actually just a regular conforming loan. You can pay it off, but you could also pay it off with the renovation loan. So we're gonna pay it off,
Mm-hmm.
and you have one mortgage. So
So, so that does it have to qualify in some ways, like in order to use that? Like that, did it have to be a loan that you use to put solar on? Like often people are using PACE loans, and
mhm.
or if like say I have a loan that I used, like unsecured loan that I used to improve my energy efficiency, can I use that to for refi to can I use the refi to pay that off?
I'm pretty sure you can, but I want to check and get back to you
Okay.
because of COVID, we had a lot of overlays and stuff, and
Right.
I'm pretty sure you can, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm 100% certain.
Okay.
I know
Okay.
you can pay off PACE loans on regular conventional loans. So if you're
Right.
just doing a rate and term refi,
Mm-hmm.
you can pay out. Yes, you could. They would just pay off your PACE loan. You'd have one more
Yeah.
new mortgage. So
Yeah.
that's the. But I
Yeah.
will verify how it is for purchases and for refis, and I'll just send
Right.
you an email and you can put it on your Facebook page.
Okay. Sounds good. So just quickly, just so that people may not know what PACE loan is, can
Mhm.
you explain that for us?
Yeah. So a PACE loan is a loan. They're forget what the acronym stands for.
I think it's I used to know this,
I
but
used to
I
know. I
can't
used to
think of it.
know. It went right on my brain, but a loan to make your home energy efficient and it's secured by the house.
Right.
So it doesn't go with the person. It's a lien against the house.
Right. Right.
Okay, so when you transfer a title, well, you have to resolve the lien,
Right.
right? Which is why they have to be paid off.
Right. So it
So
makes it a little bit complicated
more
when you have to
complicated. So if
sell.
the
Yeah.
seller's not going to pay it off,
Mm-hmm.
then and you're going to buy his house, well, you got to figure out what to do with the PACE lien.
Right.
And so paying it off is the best thing
Right.
you can do
Yeah. Before you, you
before
try
you
to,
acquire it.
I see.
So
Yeah.
that's what they are, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, well, thank you so much. I right on time, 4:30.
Wow. That was good.
Danica, do we have any questions?
You know, believe it or not, they already here I answered one of the main questions, which was, you know, how do the interest rates compare to the standard purchase loan? You already answered
Right.
that, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
William. And really important, William, if you don't mind, I'd love for people to know how to get in touch with you. If you don't mind, just giving a quick information on how to get in touch with you and so forth.
Only if you don't mind,
Well,
William.
if I don't mind. So my email is wbrown, small letters, at financeofamerica.com. That's my logo in the back. So wbrown@financeofamerica.com. My phone number, which is with me all the time. In fact, I just turned it off because it's been buzzing, is 317-371-6127. So lots of sevens. 317-371-6127. You can text me, you can call me. I'd be happy to talk to you. I can answer your questions, whether I can help you get a mortgage or not. We won't know till we have a conversation. And honestly, it doesn't work for some people. I have the same conversation with everybody. I talked to somebody yesterday, and he thought he would use his own money rather than pay for inspections and title updates because he didn't want to do that. So it's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
My job is to give you your options and maybe advice based on your particular situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and even with the higher rate, a lot of times on refinances, the higher rate's not a problem because you're buying equity. And so
Right.
you're rolling in your closing costs. And so maybe I've had people look at the cost of a refi versus the cost of paying one discount point at the close of their refi
Yeah.
and taking out their equity. So they're not out of pocket. They
Right.
just paid a point, $6,000, say it's a big house, $6,000. So their mortgage went up by $6,000. Their payment changed by $5 or $7, not a lot. And
Yeah.
now their rate is 2.875.
Yeah.
So that's the other way to think about it.
Yeah. Well, great. Thank you so much, William. This was such a pleasure to talk to you. And thank you so much for all the helpful information. So
Thank you.
Danica, if we don't have any other questions, we can thank William and say goodbye.
Okay,
Sounds
thanks everybody.
wonderful. Thank you so much, William, and we'll be
It's a
sure to
pleasure.
get you a copy of this out to you as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks, Izumi, for
Let's talk.
Thank you, William.
Let's talk again. I wouldn't mind doing a thing that we talked about in terms of eating healthy.
I would love to do that. I'm not necessarily advocating. I'm just trying to give people options, right? And this is an option that's like off the chart.
Education. And that's what we
Yeah.
offer is education. It doesn't
Okay.
always have to be real estate.
Okay.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, William. Thank
Bye.
you,
Bye, Izumi.
Danica.